Today we welcome and introduce the new baseball coach at Mississippi State, 18th baseball coach in Mississippi State history, Chris Lemonis. He comes to Mississippi State from Indiana. And Chris, just welcome to Mississippi State. What's the experience been like so far?
It's been a whirlwind. Hear from John on Sunday, here Monday afternoon, and press conference Tuesday morning. It's to join a program like this is just beyond my wildest dreams.
As a baseball coach, but you're a father and you're a husband and you're a citizen, what are the things that are important to Chris Lemonis?
Family, faith, baseball. Probably in that order, you know. My family's real important. I got two beautiful daughters, an unbelievable wife that supported me through this whole thing. And I just, you know, I live the game of baseball, so it's a big piece to me. And, you know, I've done it from a young age. I've just been a fan and love working in the game, love working with the guys. Looking forward to building tremendous relationships with the kids. I mean, that's my one of my biggest things I'm looking forward to.
You grew up in South Carolina to a degree. I know that you were in the Charleston area at the Citadel. You got a feel for baseball in the South. Just sort of those ties, are they helpful at this time?
Oh, I think so. I mean, it was a big thing for me to get back in the South and play in the South. And when you're in Indiana, the weather can be tough at times. So, you know, we're looking forward to it. The recruiting ties that I have in this part of the country. And, you know, I grew up, you know, it was, you know, our big SEC school in South Carolina was South Carolina, so that was a big thing to us, and watching that program grow.
You went to the Citadel. The Citadel is obviously a unique university. How did that help structure your life?
You know, the Citadel was awesome. It's a tough place to be, you know, but it's a great place to be from. And we, the biggest piece about the Citadel for me was my teammates. That was, as I look up, the guys you played with, the guys you hung out with, we feel lucky that we were all put there together, and so we're still very close. One of my best friends, his son's a freshman here at State this year, so he's got good football seats. So we're, you know, just all those guys and the connections that the Citadel grew for us. And I learned from Chalport, who was a Hall of Fame coach. I learned from Freddie Jordan, and it was fundamentals and discipline and doing things the right way and respecting the game of baseball. And so I think that's carried me through my career.
Not only was a player, but also a coach there, and then you coach with a guy you had connections with in Dan McDonald, who at Louisville has had great success.
Right, it was a blessing. I coached with Dan at the Citadel. We were college roommates, and so we're very close, godparent of my kids, so very close there. And when we had that opportunity to go to Louisville, and people probably forget now, Louisville wasn't the team and the power that it was 12 years ago, and I give him so much credit, his assistance. What a blessing for me to be a part of that for all those years, and to get to do it with your best friend was a lot of fun.
And then, of course, obviously at the University of Indiana these past 4 seasons, 3 NC2A tournaments, you got to a championship ball game against Texas this year. Just talk a little bit about taking over a program and how you did that at Indiana, because you walked into a situation where they had some success, but not long-term success, and you were able to maintain that over the last 4 years.
That's the hardest part in the Big Ten for us, and you look across the league, was sustaining success. And when I took the job and I told our AD, Fred Glass, it was, man, we want to be the best team over time, best program in the league, and we had really worked to accomplish that. 5 regionals in 6 years hadn't happened in a long time in the Big Ten, and it was something we were very proud of and to be a part of. And it helped me as a head coach. I mean, I had great administration, great staff, and a great group of kids, and it was fun. It was really a great experience. I'll be forever grateful for my AD for giving me the opportunity and believing in me at the time, and it prepared me, because it ain't easy being a head coach. And so when you're dealing with weather and travel and things that you got to deal with in the Big Ten, I really think it, you know, made me a better coach.
I was just looking at your ball clubs. Not only you hit home runs, you led the league in home runs this past year, but you led the league in ERA pitching-wise. And I noticed that if you look at the defensive side of the ledger, it's been really good. Just talk about your philosophy of baseball.
You can't go to Omaha usually if you don't pitch and play defense. If you look up, the top 20 teams in the country look like Omaha teams in ERA, and you got to defend, especially when you get into regionals and super regionals, and those one out or one play makes a big difference. So we build our team that way. Offensively, I like, you know, athletic kids, but kids that hit the ball out of the ballpark too. So and they have to have the ability to defend. And so we're a little picky in some ways, but we feel like if we can put 9 guys out there that can move around and play the game defensively and have a chance to hit, we got a chance. We got to be able to win by 1 run on Friday night. We got to be able to win on Sunday if it's 15-13, depending on the type of games. And we're building a group that can handle, all type of games.
Big piece is recruiting, and obviously you have a great reputation in that area, but as you think about that, it's a little different. You're not only recruiting against other teams, but you're recruiting against Major League Baseball to a degree, and you have to have a relationship with Major League Baseball. I mean, there's a lot of pieces to it, aren't there?
It is. It's, recruiting goes from getting them to school to evaluating them to putting the roster together. But to me, the biggest piece is about people. And so you're just trying to find the right people to join in with you and getting those people to believe in you. And in time, when you're dealing with the major leagues, that trust factor helps a lot when you're sitting on the coach's side of the table. That trust factor helps a lot when you're coaching them, and especially when they're struggling and having hard times. But the recruiting piece to me is huge. I mean, and I've never had an opportunity to sell what I have a chance to sell right now. So I walked through this ballpark last night and just my jaw was on the ground.
You met with the ball club briefly, talked to them a little bit yesterday. Just what was that like?
It was a little awkward. I don't know if a head coach has ever met the team coming back from Omaha and taken over. So little dynamic there, and we talked about it. Great group of kids. I mean, that job that Gary Henderson and that staff did, and the team was unbelievable. And so we talked about that a little bit, and talked about we're going to celebrate those guys this year in the fall and everything else. But wanted them to get to know me a little bit. Talked about some of our philosophy, but it wasn't long. It wasn't real rah-rah, I don't think. It was just, we'll build those relationships daily. That'll be the biggest piece. But we talked about, I'm into them. I'm into their player development. I'm into their player development as a baseball player, and that's a big piece. They all want to go to the next level, and I get that. And that's hopefully I'm that vehicle that can help them get there. But also I want them to be great in the community and great in the classroom. And as life goes on, baseball ends, and these kids, they have to, they're husbands and fathers, and so that means a lot to me, especially as you get to my age. And the last 2 days, I've had so many old players that have played for me reaching out, and it's just really cool.
As we sort of wrap this up, what are the first orders of business for you? I know we got press conferences and all of that type of thing, but what's the first order of business as you begin to get settled in at Mississippi State?
It's roster and it's recruiting. And we just have to, I got to touch base with all the recruits that are committed, touch base with the current team, figure out our roster for next year, and get out on the road and meet some people. I mean, I just figuring out some of the things, fall practice and some of that. I can do that in a hotel in Atlanta as I'm watching games. But we're going to get out and meet people, and I got to meet travel team coaches and parents and players who are committed. The staff had done a great job recruiting, so we have some really good recruiting classes, but I got to get out there and get in front of them. So that'll be the biggest piece for me.
Chris Lemonis, new head coach at Mississippi State, 18th head coach at Mississippi State, taking over the program. We certainly welcome him and congratulate him.
Thank you.